Alright, so for our learning target for today is I can subtract a mixed number from a mixed number. So we're going to start with 8 and 1/10. We're going to subtract 2 and 8/10. My units are the same. We have tenths and tenths. And I'm looking out my numerator. I have one part here and 8 parts here. I cannot subtract 8 from 1. My second numerator is too big. So I'm going to have to decompose this mixed number. My first step is I'm going to subtract my whole number. So 8 ones minus 2 ones is 6. I now have my 1/10 that's paired with my first fraction, so I'm just going to bring that right down. I have 6 and 1/10. And I've used these 2 ones. I'm going to cross that out because I've already used it. And I'm going to bring down what's left, which is these 8/10. So I still have my second numerator still larger than my first one, so I'm going to use a number bond to decompose this mixed number. And it'll still be a mixed number, but we're going to create an improper fraction. So 6 ones, I'm going to take 1 whole away, which means I have 5 ones left. I know that 1 whole in tenths is 10/10. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add it, my 10/10 with my other part, with my other fraction, to make the other piece of my number bond. 10/10 plus 1/10 is 11/10. We know this because we only add our numerators. And now I am able to subtract because 11 is larger than 8. So now we can see I have 5 ones and 11/10, which is the same or equivalent to 6 wholes and 1/10. And now I can subtract. So 11/10 minus 8/10 is equal to 3/10. And so I'm going to pair my answers. I have 5 ones left. So I can bring my 5 ones, my whole number up here. And I have 3/10 left after subtracting. So my answer to 8 and 1/10 subtracted by 2 and 8/10 is 5 and 3/10. We've been practicing this number bond strategy for a few days, but it's always nice to have a second strategy to come back to. So this is a new strategy that I've learned from Mr. Flores and Mr. Sullivan, so we're going to try this out if you haven't already. Again, we're going to use that same equation as our example. So we have 8 and 1/10 minus 2 and 8/10. And we're going to go back to the beginning of the year when we were adding and subtracting using the standard algorithm. We're going to do the same thing with our fractions. So we have 8 ones and we have 1/10. And we're going to subtract 2 ones and 8/10. We're going to find our answer. Now again, 8/10 is larger than 1/10, so we can't subtract. We're going to need to regroup. And we're going to do that by regrouping from the whole number. We're going to break apart our ones, and that leaves 7 ones. Now we know that 10/10 is 1 whole because we have 10 as our denominator. So we're going to make a note to ourselves, 10/10. And we're going to add it to the 1/10. 10/10 plus 1/10 is equal to 11/10. And now we see 11/10 is larger than 8/10, and we're able to do that subtraction. So 11/10 subtracted by 8/10 is equal to 3/10. And we have 7 ones subtracted by 2 ones, which is 5 ones. And we can see quickly our answer is the same. We have 5 and 3/10 again. So I'm going to bring that up to the top. 5, 3/10. So we are decomposing or breaking apart our whole number, regrouping it as a fraction, and adding back that fraction, adding to what we already have. Now it's important that we write this out to keep track of our work. But you can see this way was a little bit quicker, maybe even a little bit more efficient. So if you feel like you want to try this way, great. If you feel like you really have the number bond strategy and you want to keep using that, that's okay as well. But just using one of these two strategies to subtract today.